Very, very, very cool. So what we're going to do is this, and let's take a look here, how this works here. Oh, okay. Let me try that one. Here we go. How's that? Boom. Wow. Look who came to the party tonight. Whoa. Not bad. All right. Hi. Look who's here. Jen. Nice to see you. What a surprise. Love to your family. Love to your dad, your mom. And this is a treat. This is great. Wow. Very, very cool. Dr. Korb, Dr. Mudd, Dr. Barney. All right. Oh, look who came to the party. Somebody we'll see next Friday. Yes, I'm just going to say his initials, HG. Well, welcome to the family. That's all I can say. Welcome to the family. It's very exciting. So kick back, because guess what? We do all the heavy lifting tonight. But guess what? I have a feeling that many of you will want to take notes tonight. So what I would do tonight, what I would do first and foremost, is take out a piece of paper. All right? That's what I would do. Take out a piece of paper, and this way you can take some notes. And very, very cool. Dr. Miller, wow, Dr. Z, I thought you were picking up a car for your son. Don't think I don't read that. Don't think I don't respond to that. Oh, look who's here. We have some amazing people. Dr. Nguyen, welcome to the family. So glad you're here. All right, good, good. All right, so we're just about ready to start. You guys are awesome. Look at this. This is really, really great. All right, good deal. All right, so what we're going to do is, let me see. I just want to make sure everybody is muted. This way, you don't have any background noise. You know what I mean? And we can make this awesome for you guys. All right. So welcome, 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 obviously, to Thursday Night Live. And this is for you guys. This is by, as they say, by popular demand. The reason that this is by popular demand is because of the simple fact that you are the ones that asked for this. You guys asked for us to bring this back. As you know, a couple of months ago, we started doing Thursday Night Live, and it built so much traction, so much momentum, so much inertia, and the room started getting crazy and packed and filled and fun. We had a lot of time, and we made each one different. We had special guests. It was nuts. It was great. So we basically hung it up. In other words, we retired Thursday Night Live. However, based upon popular demand, Dr. Kaplan got a lot of requests, a lot of emails. So if you want to thank anybody, thank Dr. Kaplan for this. So basically, before we get started, you guys actually wanted to do something kind of unique, which is actually our staff kind of prodded us. We did this last time, and basically what it was, we promised our family here and everybody who's joining us here tonight on the first Thursday night here live in July, that we'd answer some questions for you. Okay, so they gave us a stack of questions. We'll answer them, and then we'll dive right into the deep end of the pool here tonight. All right, so I have no idea what these questions are. It's kind of like that, what do you call that, Johnny Carson, right? Remember? That's kind of, I thought, see, Bill, now you know, I know how old you are now. I know how old you are, Dr. George, but more importantly, I know how many kids in your family. 15. One of 15. Wow. Well, guess what? We call you the chosen one. And it was great to see you at boot camp last week and the Cairo event. How incredible. I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago. That was amazing. Amazing. So here it is. Because I never know. Let's see what this is. All right. What would you all right. So this is interesting from Dr. Jonathan. So you can actually see here that what would you recommend for someone just starting in practice to do first? Wow. That's a kind of interesting question. Well, there's a lot of ways to answer this question. What I would suggest, without question, is to basically hitch your ride to who's ever doing the biggest, the best, and the most in this profession. In other words, if you try to figure it out on your own. See, I was no different than you, Dr. Jonathan. When I first came out, I said, you know, I think I know enough. Let me try to figure this out on my own. And if I would have just hitched my ride at that time, which eventually I did super, super quick, it would have saved me a lot of time, because every mistake you make in business, in practice, in patient care, in billing, in patient management, in financials, and more, cost you money. But more importantly, it costs you time. So what I would say is find out who's doing the biggest, who's doing the best, who is doing the most. And I'll tell you this, if you ask the doctors on Thursday Night Live that are part of our family, they have a very exacting answer to that. They'll tell you it's concierge coaches. Not to toot our own horn, but the reality is there really is no second place in this profession, and we'll prove it to you here tonight. How's that? How's that for a deal? All right, not bad. All right, so remember in Johnny Carson, what they used to do, he used to take it and he'd go like that up in the air, right? He'd throw it up in the air. All right. You know, who comes up with this stuff? All right, so this is really, all right, so is it true? This is from Dr. Jensen. Is it true Dr. Kaplan's birthday is the same as President Trump's? The answer is emphatically yes, it is. And I can have him answer that, but I'm kind of holding him off in the bullpen for now before we bring him on. It was, by the way, it was June 14th. And yes, getting better with age, no question about it. It is like the finest wine you've ever had in your life. And isn't that amazing? What's the coincidence of that? And then having the president on the cover of his book? I mean, gosh, what are the odds of that? All right, so here's an interesting one. Which company, oh, all right, so which company do you recommend for spinal decompression? Dr. Richmond. All right, so this is an interesting question because, as you guys know, we're not in the table business. However, we have opinions, and we'll share some of those opinions here tonight for you guys to be able to make informed decisions. In other words, you'll make the decision. Our responsibility to you is to show you facts, to show you findings, to show you research, to show you data. And then we've got such an incredible thing for you guys here tonight. I mean, I'm so incredibly excited because there's a special announcement here tonight. So we'll talk about that question, all right? So all right, so here's an interesting one. In consideration of COVID-19, do you recommend doctors wear masks in their offices? So I have a feeling this is kind of like a new question. I kind of have a feeling this question just came in. It's from Dr. I don't know if it's his first name or last name, Dr. Christopher. I'm going to tell you that the answer is really up to you. But I will tell you this. If you're going to do it, wow, how's that? Kind of nutty, right? Imagine if I did this whole Zoom meeting with this mask on, right? So this is a personal preference. You have to make the decision. And I was going to show this anyway. I actually didn't know that question was coming. I was going to show you this mask anyway. So pretty well, I could see you guys are laughing. I'm laughing too. Hey, listen, if you're going to do it, use a This Centers of America one, right? How crazy is that, right? And last question. All right. So do you have the schedule for trainings that you give for the rest of 2020? And this is from Dr. Martinez. Dr. Martinez, not bad there. The answer is yes. And as a matter of fact, we're going to answer that question on Thursday Night Live. How's that? Okay. So let's dive right into it. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to share our screen and actually show you what's going down. Can everybody see that? Hey, Dr. Roy. All right. Beautiful. All right. So let's go right into it. Can everybody see that? Beautiful. All right. Hopefully this will work. All right. So yes, tonight, as you probably know, we have a major, major announcement. We've never made this announcement before. And the coolest part about it is all of you doctors will be the first in the country to learn it. And that is a big, big, big deal. Now, what I'd like you to do here before we move forward is this. You guys are going to, and gals are going to have questions tonight. So what I want you to do is I want you to write this down. I want you to write down our email address, which is newpatientnow at AOL.com. So all of you can actually, if you, I know, look at you, Jennifer. Write it down, new patient now, beautiful, at AOL.com. You'll see why later. All right, so let's get down to business, all right? So number one inquiry that we get is specific to a training that we give, which is known as the Chiro event. And Bert, we're going to see you there, brother. We're going to see you there on Friday. Yay! But it'll be a fun weekend. Boy, you're in for a treat. I don't want to tell you the surprises. I think it's better to be surprised. But this event actually was completely sold out. And it actually sold out about 8 weeks ago when we had overflow from a prior event that was sold out. And then we took those doctors on the wait list, and that filled up all the seats for the July 11th event. So all of these seats were completely gone. However, something very interesting happened, and that was we have had to basically reschedule doctors for the future. I can't tell you when, meaning there are actually, I think it's either 1 or 2 seats that opened up for doctors that had to give up their seat from New York or New Jersey or Connecticut. So if you're watching this and you're from New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, as bad as you guys want to come, unfortunately, we cannot open up seats for you guys for the Chiro event. However, if you're not from New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, and you want to attend next Saturday's event, then what you need to do is this. You need to go to www.thechiroevent.com and fingers crossed, grab that seat. And when I say grab that seat, what I mean is, I thought it was 2. It's actually 1. There's 1 seat left. Grab that seat if you want to learn the real juice, the real special sauce, and have an experience that's unmatched. And if you don't believe that, stay till the end of Thursday Night Live, and then you can decide. But I kind of have a feeling it'll be gone by then. So what we're going to do here tonight is this. What we're going to do here is we're actually going to do something that a lot of doctors asked for. And basically it was this. Dr. Kaplan and myself created actually a series of trainings, a series of videos, and they were known primarily as the 3 C's. Now we're going to talk about the 3 C's, but what we're going to do first and foremost is actually we're going to let you guys know that if you look at how the success of a practice starts, it always starts with one thing. And what it starts with is what we always call the biggest domino. In other words, once you can get the big domino to fall, all the other little dominoes will fall. So basically what happens is in our world, there is an order to things. There is an order to success. In other words, if you do number 1, and then you do number 2, and then you do number 3, well, guess what happens? You create momentum. Now you could wish and you could hope and you could pray and you could think long and you could think hard, but the fact is that there is an order to things, and we're going to do this kind of in an order tonight. This is an actual training. So as I said, take notes. But before we get started, always really the excitement for me is to bring in really the brain trust of all this. In other words, the person that wrote the scripts, wrote the manuals, wrote the programs, wrote the curriculum, and delivers the training really unmatched. And I just want to make sure the technology works. Dr. K, are you with us here tonight?
I'm here, brother.
All right, beautiful. So what I would love for you to do is to just really talk a little bit overview as to what we're going to do tonight. And then what we'll do is we'll ping pong a little bit between the 3 C's at that point. So what I would love for you to do is to start off And the floor is yours, brother.
You know, it's an amazing time. It's an amazing time in chiropractic. And it's a very strange and unique time because, you know, listen, we're all dealing with COVID-19. We deal with the fear and anxiety of the common person. And yet, people have to understand that there's a lot of other problems that take place in the world today that people aren't focusing on. An example, the #1 prescribed drug in the United States is opioids. I mean, when you look at the number, that 135 million prescriptions are prescribed for opioids. And that in accordance with opioids is failed back surgery syndrome, which I'm gonna get into and talk to a little bit about tonight. What's exciting is, you know, we have so many clients. I mean, we have one from Tennessee who came to us, was collecting 50,000 a week. And after coming to a boot camp, that person did 108,000. So you say, wow, how can you do that? We have Kurt Simons who closed 2 cases on Monday right after boot camp. Wow, how can you do that? Because here's what I'm gonna teach you people. If I learned anything as the president of Nutrisystem, I learned that the brand is bigger than the product. People want a brand. They want something they can look up to. They want something they can identify with. And you know what? The brand of chiropractic, it's polluted. Chiropractic, we're wellness centers, we're functional medicine centers, we're chiropractic centers. But you know what? What are we really? Because when it comes to the disc, when it comes to the nerve, meaning decompression, neuropathy, who is better than we are? There really is nobody better at doing this than we are, because only we can reduce the kinesiopathology, the histopathology. You know, the Bonduct study showed, I mean, a long time ago, it used to think that everything was associated with muscle. Why? Because with back problems comes associated back spasms. Okay, so what happens is, okay, what's happening is with back spasms, okay, they thought that back spasms was the cause of the problem. Now we know that the disc is. This centers of America, we have more real estate on the internet than anybody else. That's an amazing, amazing thing, because here we are as chiropractors, but yet we focus on the disc and we're the enemies of failed back surgery syndrome. Let me give you something. I'm going to read something to you very really. So, you know, not only there's a common procedure that, do you know that the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons Conference in the summer of 2010, 10 years ago, 100 surgeons were polled as to whether they'd have a lumbar spinal fusion surgery for unspecified low back pain. The answer from all but one was absolutely not. Absolutely not. Here's what the surgeons told me. 80 to 85% of the time, although they can visualize an anomaly on an X-ray and MRI, they cannot with certainty determine the source of pain. You know why? Because they're not as familiar. The American Journal of Medicine observed that in the United States alone, about 80,000, listen to this, 80,000 spine surgeries fail annually. Did you hear what I just said? 80,000 spine surgeries failed annually. And you know what? That tells me that we as chiropractors are failing because, listen, I'm sitting there with my wife, we're watching TV. It happened to be happy hour in the Kaplan House. We're drinking a glass of wine. We're saluting Dr. Perry Bard. God bless you, Uncle Perry. But you know what we understand is the following. I'm watching drug commercial after drug commercial. I'm watching Zymbalta. I'm watching Lyrica. These are drugs for neuropathy that were not even prescribed for neuropathy. They're FDA approved for seizures. Yet people are doing it. So you know what, chiropractors? You know, for many, many years, it was us versus the MDs. Well, guess what? It's not you versus the MDs. It's you versus the drug industry. And guess what? You lose because they have more money. They have more money. You know, one of the people that's our guest tonight, and we're very excited because we have a big thing coming up for our clients in August, is Dr. Rich Law. And Rich is in a small town. I mean, Decatur, Illinois. And he has 12 decompression tables. And don't ever tell Richard Law that, oh, well, my patients are Medicare, because he gets a lot of Medicare patients. You know, even Jennifer Delgado, my friend who's on this tonight, okay, she came back, who's a teacher, a school teacher. And for her father, she closed the case this week for $6,000. Why? Because the brand is bigger than the product. And that's what we do. And we do everything based upon medical studies, medical research, understanding the anatomy of the disc and understanding how to treat the disc. I mean, let me explain something. Damage is long before the person feels pain. I mean, we'll show the American Academy of Neurology, and it shows you that people that have had asymptomatic have positive MRIs. A subluxation becomes a bulge, which becomes a herniation. But we as chiropractors, we've sat back on our laurels and we've just treated subluxations. But you know what? Why? Why? I mean, that's like a dentist saying, "Oh, I don't do root canals. Oh, I don't handle gum disease." Well, guess what? It's time that you stepped up your game. Everybody knows that we make our doctors become nationally certified. We make our doctors step up to the plate. The enemy of great is good, and nobody pushes that harder than I do. And that's what we need to do. When I look at people, who I admire, like Richard Lohr, and whose father was a chiropractor. I think his brother was a chiropractor. His uncle was a chiropractor. I mean, and yet he's taking chiropractic to a higher level than anybody in his family. Why? It's commitment. He came to Perry and I seminars. Wherever we spoke, we'd look in the audience, and there would sit Richard. And he knows, he's probably sitting there laughing now. Yeah, that's true. But you know what? The bottom line is we were all students of the game before we were professionals of the game. I was a student of the game. I've been to every seminar you could ever imagine. And I said to my son, who's in practice in Wellington, Florida, chiropractic is the greatest profession in the world, but it's not the easiest business. It's not the easiest business. And that's why chiropractors always had to recreate themselves. They always had to re-identify themselves. But you know what? You don't have to do that anymore. Just be great at what you do. Focus on what you know. I mean, I'll give you an example. Do you know that about 1 in 5 patients, 1 in 5 who undergo spinal surgery for degenerative surgery returns for a revision? 1 in 5. And look it up, failed back surgery syndrome. Only 40% of surgeries are successful. 1 in 5 returns. And hold on, guess what? The return rate is only 30%. Are you kidding me? And how can we be losing to these people that charge $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 for surgery? And I have guys that are scared to say, "Oh, decompression, $5,000. Oh, that's a lot of money, doctor." You know what? Is it a lot of money? Look at the alternative. The alternative is surgery. Why do our doctors succeed? Because the brand is bigger than the product. This side of America, we have more real estate on the internet than anybody. More real estate. And don't think they don't look you up. You want to be a little mom and pop store? Let me tell you something. Learn from Costco. Learn from Publix. Learn from McDonald's. The little guy doesn't survive. You got to be part of a brand. Anybody out there, I challenge anybody to tell me that McDonald's makes the best hamburger. And I've had them all. I've been to McDonald's. I've been to Burger King. I've been to Win. I even had the no meat burger, whatever that's called. I saw the commercial. I said, I got to try this no meat burger. Maybe it was terrible. It was terrible. But the brand and the marketing brought me in, and that's what we do. We test things all the time. Dr. Barr and I spend, I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars. And my son a lot of times gets the benefit because we run him through his facility. We know what works and doesn't work. And we get things for less money than anybody has ever done. But don't say that marketing doesn't work, because all you have to do is look at the fast food industry. And then nextly, you look at the drug industry. I mean, opioids, 135 million prescriptions. Are you kidding me? Do you know what one of the #1 causes for liver failure is? Is acetaminophen. Tylenol. Tylenol is one of the leading causes of liver failure in the United States. 100,000 calls annually to emergency drug centers for Tylenol, an over-the-counter drug. And then we wonder if we're fighting the drug industry, are we winning? Whatever happened to us as chiropractors? Have we lost our focus? Have we lost our purpose? Or do we not really know who we are? Do we not really know who we do? And how do we take our game to the next level? Well, I'm going to tell you, when you understand the brand, This is America, is bigger than the product. And the reason I can say that tonight is because most of our clients are on a lot of our clients are on the line. And now we're looking in, listen, we have surprises. When you see the new back belt that we're working on, which will be called Discoline, which is going to knock your socks off, which I'm going to tell you doctors, include it in every case that you do. Because we worked out a deal with the company that the price for you is so small that it's only going to add to the sexiness of your product. I learned that at Nutrisystem. Listen, how does a kid from Jersey City become the president of a public company, become president of Nutrisystem? I have one son, listen, we consult with him all the time. He got his master's from Harvard University. And And he'll advise Perry and I on certain areas because we understand about the power of the brand. And that's what doctors we have to do, because the brand of chiropractic, listen, that's why if I went through this room today, everybody has a different name to their office. They're no longer so-and-so chiropractic center. What are you showing me, PB? PB he showed me a phone thing. So that obviously this is exciting because, you know, great things are happening. Watch this. Listen to this, people, doctors. Oregon Health and Science University spine medicine researcher Roger Chow believes that surgeons should be required to reveal the odds of their patient before going forward. If a surgeon said, yes, we can do this 70,000 surgery, but now you know there's more than a 50% chance that you're going to leave with a lot of pain. More than a 50% chance. This is Dr. Chow. This is the medical doctors now eating the medical doctors at 70,000, and you're worried about asking people for $3,000 and $4,000. Shame on you. It's because, let me tell you, it's not because the system doesn't work. It's because you're scared of the system. It's because the insurance companies beat you up for so long. You want to be insurance dependent? Listen, you want to kiss the heinies of personal injury attorneys? God bless you. What I love is our clients sell cash cases. A teacher, Jennifer Delgado, sold a $6,000 case. She comes to one boot camp, her first week. Are you kidding me? This is the exciting thing about what we do. We have Dr. Kurt Simons from Wisconsin. Monday, he closed 2 cases at $5,000 to $6,000 a case. So he came down to Florida, he made $11,000 the next day. Why? Because we understand what it takes. And we have all the infrastructure, the videos, the infomercials, the pre-report tapes, the TV commercials, the web, anything that they're going to need. Listen, what I learned is being the president of Nutrisystem, I learned the power that, listen, nobody ever called Nutrisystem and said, how's the food? Oh, the food's real good. Oh, you're going to love the food. We didn't have to sell them on the food, but yet, you know, when you go into a report of findings, doctors, I challenge you, time yourself. If you're in there longer than 12 minutes, you're selling. You're no longer educating. You're now insecure, and you're sitting there and you're selling. Why do you have to sell? Why can't you just be the best doctor that you can be? And that's what we train doctors at This Centers America. And all my people out there, and I'm going to tell you, Umberto, you're going to learn this, because in Orlando is a great market. You're going to learn that the power of the brand, because listen, when they research you, do you know This Centers America, we have more real estate on the internet than any other company for disc in the United States, probably the world. Are you kidding me? Yes, that's what we do. We spend our money making you money. Help me help you. Help me help you help me. Listen, it's a good thing. Listen, it's a good thing. I've been in this profession for 40 years. Unfortunately, I've seen the best and the worst. I've seen the good and the bad. I've seen the ugly. But you know what? There's an opportunity here, doctors. There's an opportunity. There's a reason why people like Richard Laura are doing well. There's a reason why Dr. Wendy Tui is doing well. There's a reason why Dr. Vinton is doing well. There's a reason why we have doctors collecting, listen to this, doctors, $250,000, $300,000 a month. We have one guy, $300,000 a month. Listen to this, Eli. He has 5 employees, 7 tables. Don't tell me what you can afford, what you can't afford. I'm going to tell you it's about commitment, doctors. It's about your commitment to the program. It's about your commitment to what you do. It's about your commitment to the success. It's about your commitment to research. It's about your commitment to the Leslie study, the Bogdack study, the Ironman study, the Shealy study. You want to go through studies? I'll go through study for study with you. This is my life. How do you take the profession to the next level? We spoke today with Raj Gupta. Okay, it was a 13,000 square foot wellness center in the state of New Jersey. Well, guess what? New Jersey just came out with a new thing. They're only going to pay $28 a visit. He used to be getting $150 to $300. Guess what? Now he has to bring on a medical doctor. Is that what we have to do? Do we have to sacrifice? But guess what? So guess what? He's now a client of ours. Why? He wants to bring decompression into his practice. 13,000 square feet. He'll be here next weekend for boot camp. We get the best of the best, and we're proud of it. Why? We provide the best of the best. I'll put a challenge out there. Watch this, doctors. I challenge anybody to find a coach in this profession that's a better resume than Perry and I combined. I guarantee you that the success rate that Perry and I have combined, or Eli to have your bank account. So if you take those 3 things, I mean, that's what we do. And we do it well. PB.
So I don't think that, let's see if that works. Here we go. Maybe. I don't think that you're here by chance. I don't think you stumbled on Thursday Night Live. I don't think that you just happened to roll out of bed, turn your computer on, and all of a sudden, Dr. K and myself show up. I don't think so. What I think is this. What I think is that you're here for a reason. You're here for content. You're here for an idea. You're here for one thing. You're here for something to basically ignite your rocket ship so you can take your rocket ship, and your rocket ship is your practice, to heights never reached and more, because that's exactly what I would want. So what I want to do here tonight is I want to show you a few things here that'll help get, as we say, the party started. And let me see if you can see it. There we go, baby. All right, not bad. All right, so as I mentioned, tonight's training is really geared towards a video series that Dr. Kaplan and I did that was known as the 3 C's of spinal decompression. And it starts with number one. It starts with something known as the capture. Now, the capture is the marketing. In other words, remember when we started, let's see who was paying attention, because I kind of have a feeling when I looked at this that there are more doctors here now than when we first got started. So if you missed this, I'll recap it for you super, super fast. We started the night talking about one thing. We talked about the big domino. In other words, once you can get the big domino to fall, all the other little dominoes begin to fall in place. If you go out of order, then in essence, you're just convoluting it. You're just slowing the process down. You're just making it more difficult on yourself, and you're not reaching your potential. And speaking of potential, we got Dr. Jason and Stephanie Kaplan here with us here tonight, which makes my night, that makes my night. Now I can relax a little bit because I got you guys here. Thanks so much. The capture is basically the marketing. So where does it all start? Well, it starts here. It starts in the positioning of you, doctor, as the celebrity. In other words, I always look at it, as does Dr. Kaplan, from the perspective of the most skeptical, worst case scenario patient that will ever present. In other words, the patient that has 3 disc herniations, that is on the verge of schedule. They've already had an epidural injection. It didn't work. They've already taken Vicodin. It didn't work. They've already taken Percocet, Tramadol, Norflex, Oxycodone, Oxycontin. They've taken the worst of the worst, and it didn't work. So you don't think these people are a little skeptical? Heck, I would be so skeptical. Now, what do? They do a search. They talk to their friends, their family, their coworkers, their neighbors, their significant others, and they say one thing. Who's the best? Who's the best? Who do you know who can help me? Because I'm at wit's end. I'm ready to schedule surgery. So what do? They go online. And the first thing that they'll do is they'll go to your website. Now, if you want to, hey, listen, this is a business meeting, right? So we can talk black and white, right? We can talk about this. We can talk about money. Now, if you want to really get violently ill, I mean, like putridly ill, like you're going to need a bag to vomit in, like right now, I want you to do a search for chiropractors that are doing spinal decompression under their chiropractic umbrella, and watch how diluted that message is. We know for a fact that everything starts with, as Dr. K said so eloquently, the brand. In other words, why be alone on an island by yourself when you can be part of the momentum, the inertia, basically the driving force in non-surgical care? Because the truth is this, I know if I was a patient, guess what? I don't want another epidural. I'm tired of taking drugs. I'm wishing, hoping, praying that this microdiscectomy works, because if it doesn't work, guess what? They're telling me I'm going to need a laminectomy. And if that doesn't work, they're telling me I'm going to need metal in my back. So I want you to watch the pattern here. There's an order here. So watch. Here's a great doctor, Anna, Texas. Anna, Texas. When this doctor started, cool dude, Cameron Rowe, one stoplight in the whole town. And he's kicking butt. And as a matter of fact, he just re-signed today. He completed his, and as a matter of fact, I think he's on his third term. As a matter of fact, I think he's on his third. That means he completed a term. He signed up for another term. He completed that. He just did he started another one. Pretty awesome. But watch this. Watch the positioning of celebrity. Watch the positioning of America's Best. Watch the positioning of Spinal Care Today. Watch the positioning of how we elevate the status, the spotlight, the focal point of you being the doctor. One of the cool things I love about this dude is he's from Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. And in Lehigh Valley, in essence, now, guess what? Dr. K will talk about this tonight. He just sent us a picture last weekend. Coolest thing going. He's moving into this big glass building. He was formerly practicing in a house. And he's done so amazingly well. Supply and demand. He created incredible demand. Now he's up to, I think, 3 spinal decompression tables and more. Cool dude, Mark Lasacho. Here's another one of our favorite dudes, Stephen Thane. Amazing doctor. He's got either 4 or 5 spinal decompression tables. And he's in Bellevue, Washington, one of the best of the best of the best. He will be with us in Illinois in a few weeks and more. Now, one of the things I would love for you to talk about, Dr. K, is something that, if you'll notice, I want to point out something here. I don't know if you can actually see this, but I want you to notice, even if I have a cursor, there it is. You see my cursor? Now look here. See that button right here? Can everybody see my cursor? Raise your hand if you can see my cursor. Can you see that? Move it. All right. Now I want you to watch something. Notice I don't have to do any work. This pops up in my face. I don't have to go. Everything you see is what we call, there's a term on the internet. It's called above the fold. In other words, I don't have to scroll down to get to information. So I need the most important information right at the top. So what happens is when I click this button, something miraculous happens. This is what pops up. Dr. K, can you talk a little bit about what we're looking at right now?
Maybe. You know, one of the things that we do is, you know, Perry talks about, you know, the 3 C's. And it's a series of videos that we give to our clients, which is about, you know, 1 is the capture, 1 is the conversion, and 1 is the close. And then there's the trilogy in marketing. And we think today, in the world that we live in, Facebook, your websites, okay, you know, and television are the 3 C's. Why? The average American spends a minimum, listen to this, doctors, of 7 hours a day in front of a screen, whether it be the TV or the video. And people now relate. So what we did is the person who does web work for us, digital media, Ramon, who's phenomenal, okay, he created an intake form. Because people that see today, remember this, I always believe a close takes place 2 times. 1 when they're in the office and 1 when they go home. Now you say, oh, well, bring the spouse in. Listen, I've heard all the things that David Singer and Larry Markson said, but you know what? In today's world, between the pandemic and working, the spouse can't always come in. So you have to have a vehicle and a mechanism. But when you capture them, we do this on the internet. So on the website, the internet, how did it begin? So basically what I'm doing is I'm doing the consultation. It comes in. The pain just began. Check the following tests you've had in this condition, M.R.I. and X-ray. What does that tell me, doctors? It tells me that he's been elsewhere and that it failed. This, to me, is the easiest patient to convert if you have the brand and the materials. Listen, if you're going to be a little mom and pop store that's going to be on the corner selling hot dogs, you might not succeed. If you're going to be branded, you will. So watch this. Have you had any surgeries related to your existing pain? Yes. Guess what? We know that. Why? We know that only 40 to 50% of all back surgery is successful. And we know that 1 in 5 goes back for a second surgery. And according to the study that was done, that many people that have the surgery have more pain a year after. Why? According to Rob Burke, famous neuroradiologist, he says because scar tissue begins to grow in. And as the scar tissue goes in, it starts to capture the nerves. And when it wraps around the nerves, the pain becomes chronic, thus becomes opioid injections. Wow. Are we missing the boat, chiropractors? So watch this. What have you had? Joint injections, trigger point injections, nerve block. Are you kidding? I had someone call me up about ablation this week. Are you kidding me? Doctors, look how many orthopedic surgeons are in your area. In Florida alone, between 2000 and 2012, in Daytona Beach, a neurosurgeon, Frederick Vinus, Frederick Vinus was doing so many surgeries, and nearly half those surgeries were performed on patients which were diagnosed with degenerative disc disease. That's 90% of your practice. And the Washington Post reported that Vinus performed 3 or 4 spinal surgeries every day. And auditors found that 90% of surgeries performed were not considered medically necessary. 90%. Are you kidding me? And you're sitting there saying, oh, I don't know if decompression, read the research, doctors. Do you have any type of medical insurance? Yes. One of the things that we do, and part of the building the brand, we give out an app to all of our clients. How much is the app? You say, oh, we give it to everyone for free. Matter of fact, everybody here can have the app. Go get it. Here's the way you go get it. Whether you're a client or not client, you get the app for This Sense America, but when you get the app, you're going to want to be part of This Sense America. But you know what? Get the app and watch the videos. Watch somebody like Timothy Kremchek. Go look him up online. One of the leading orthopedic surgeons in the United States, who says, I had back surgery. I was a resident back, and I would not recommend back surgery. I would recommend spinal decompression. And if you want to see it, go to my son's website, wellingtondisccenter.com. Write it down. Go on the videos and the spinal decompression and watch the Kremchek video. Oh, by the way, how big is his office? 100,000 square feet. Oh, who does he endorse? He endorses spinal decompression. We work for the best of the best. That's what we do. So download the app, doctors. It's for free. How much is it for your patients? It's for free. It's for free. So the conversion is a very important thing, because let me tell you something. Perry just showed you the video. How do you convert a patient who has failed in the past become successful with you? By the way, nice tie, Eric. Oh, all right, that's me. So how do you get someone who failed in the past? You know what? I look into my crystal ball. I never go anywhere without my little 8-ball. What is the future of spinal decompression? Huge. Look what it says. Huge. The future of spinal decompression, according to the 8-ball, is huge. And let me tell you, the 8-ball is never wrong. I mean, look at these numbers, doctors. Back pain, with around 3.5 million people affected. And you're worried about getting new patients? You're worried about getting new patients, doctors? All roads lead to discs. If you want to be in the disc business, I recommend that you have the best equipment, that you know what you're doing, that you don't play games, okay? That you understand the importance of supports, that you understand the importance of ice, that you understand the importance of laser, that you understand the importance of electroanalgesic. Let me tell you something. What do? What does non-surgical spinal decompression work? Because the first thing that we do is we improve the problem. Rich Law says it so cutely. It's like milking the disc. I can't say it as acutely as Rich says it. It's like milking the disc. You're milking the fluid back in, which improves the circulation and improves the disc tissues. Do you realize that 87% of the body, 85 to 87%, depending on how much water you drink, is fluid? And many times it's dehydrated. So what you want to do is you want to increase the flow of oxygen. Spinal decompression is spinal distraction without muscular contraction. Because as Bogduk's study showed that yes, muscles are the enemy of disc problems, but they're not the cause. And then after decompression, why is support so important? Because supports can isolate that disc. It can support the disc so when the person goes home and they lift their children. So we talk about in very detail, let me tell you something. We don't just talk about money at our websites. Any one of my clients will tell you that. What we talk about is the disc, understanding the annulus. Do you know that the weakest structure in the body is when the body goes into flexion? Why? Because McGill did a study, and what he found out is in flexion, that's when the disc is the weakest point. And that's where, if you understand the disc and you know the dynamics, that where are most herniations? In the posterior portion of the disc. In the posterior portion, not the anterior portion. Why? Because the annulus is thicker on the anterior than it is on the posterior. So flexion is where the problems. So secrets. Let me tell you, MDs are not our enemies. The M.R.I. is not our enemies. We deal with neuroradiologists every week. Why? Because imagine they get a second opinion. You know, I mean, you as a chiropractor, you might read the x-rays and they're sitting there and they're saying like this, well, is he telling me the truth? Is he really onto this, or is he selling me? You see, but when you come in with an MRI, you're showing the power. So let me tell you something. Whether you're with me or not, I'm telling you something, do that. But I'm going to tell you, my clinics grow. How much? I put it in writing. We have never had somebody, we put in writing that you'll get every penny you pay us so you get your money back. We've never had anybody implement it. Never. I got guys like Cameron Rowe. When he started, he had one decompression table. When they put the second traffic light in his town, then there were 2 decompression tables. Then he had to move to a bigger office. And so don't tell me about you being in a small town, and now he's on his 3rd contract. We talk about MRIs, we go through it. No matter how you look at it, it's bad. Listen, my son would close cases right from an x-ray, right from an x-ray. I can look at that, you know, these films, and I can tell where the problem is, whether it be by x-ray or MRI, because let me tell you, there is a correlative to the x-rays and to the MRI. Spine decay can lead to disc decay. When you see in your office the 4 levels of decompression, when you see the levels of subluxation, by the time they get to that 4th phase, there's no disc left. Well, what about the pain that they did? What we do at our boot camp, which I call really a one-day MBA, is we go over research from Harvard, from the Mayo Clinic. I'll talk about the Leslie study. I mean, the Leslie study is one of the great studies which shows that it takes time for things to heal. Doctors, stop thinking that everybody's Harvey Lillard. You're not going to cure people in one adjustment. You're not going to go, and they're done. Do you know the cost of back surgery? It's in one of the books that we give people. $6,000 to $8,000 for endoscopic surgery, $60,000 to $70,000 for spinal surgery, $85,000 for laminectomy. My son will tell you 30% of his patients are failed back surgery syndrome. And what do you do, doctors? What do you do if they have metal? Well, we know we provide electroanalgesia. We utilize equipment from we use equipment that's in the Cleveland Clinic. We use equipment from the veterans. I mean, you want to know how to get into veterans? Do you know that the veterans, Donald Trump signed the thing, whether you're Republican or Democrat, I don't care. I care if you cash a check. He signed an order that every VA hospital has to have 2 chiropractors. 2, not 1, 2. More than 1 million Americans undergo back surgery. It's now a $1 billion business. That's double the rate of most developed countries and 5 times that of the United Kingdom. We provide this. This is in books. We let you co-author these books. The brand is bigger than the product because the complications of surgery can be infection, nerve damage, permanent disability. I mean, the numbers are staggering. Listen, here's your homework, doctors. You want homework? Go online and look up failed back surgery syndrome. It's very scary. So this is a book that I write. We let our clients co-author with us. On this one, you have Jason Kaplan and Stephanie. One day, Eli, your name will appear there. And I'm going to tell you something. That's what you want. It's credibility, doctors. Perry said earlier, you build the celebrity, you build the brand. And that's what we do. But you have to understand the histopathology. Studies have shown that a staggering number of 40% of all back surgeries fail. What's even worse is that 10% of back surgery patients' conditions worsen after surgery. That's amazing. Subsequent surgeries that a person attempt to correct the initial failed back surgery. I told you the success rate was 30%. I don't even want to tell you the death rate when analgesics, are involved. It's an amazing thing. I hope that you're here learning that the symptoms of failed back surgery, if it's cervical, could be arm pain, numbness in the hands, numbness in the feet, burning leg. But you know what? Wow. Guess what? If I look at neuropathy, numbness is a neuropathy, burning in the legs is a neuropathy. So is there a correlation between decompression and neuropathy? Yes, and we teach it. You want to be the best of the best. Listen, you want to play at the game of chiropractic? Play. Don't waste my time. You want to get into the game. You want to be a better doctor. You want to grow your clinic. You want to grow your practice. Here we are, baby. Go ahead, PB.
So it makes sense so far? Raise your hand if it makes sense. Okay, perfect. So believe it or not, next weekend, 1 week from tomorrow, is going to be an incredible weekend. Dr. Gutierrez, you're locked and loaded, brother. Just sit back and Take it all in. I cannot wait to see you and more. Look how many doctors. I mean, if you go through how many of our doctors are with us right now, if I go through the screen, Dr. George, part of the family. Let's go through Dr. Rosenberg, Dr. Concessi, Dr. Ostenson. These are all Dr. Z, what happened to the car for your son? I'm only kidding. I know. It was the Ferrari thing. I know. Dr. Delgado, Dr. Weymouth. Holy cow, in San Leandro. And there was a doctor I just had the pleasure, the honor, the privilege to be able to talk about, Dr. Mark Lesagio from Lehigh Valley with a brand new spanking office, brother. I mean, this is not coincidence. Dr. Leo in Mississippi. Holy cow. Dr. Nguyen, welcome to the family, my dear. And more. Dr. Brad Hergord in Sacramento.
Hello.
Kind of around there. Welcome to the family. Amazing daughter who basically, if you meet her, you're going to want to clone this gal, because I'm going to tell you, absolutely one of the sharpest office managers I've ever met in my life. Gets the big idea. You'll see here, I'm sure, at some of the trainings and more. And Dr. Rich, there you are and more. I can keep going on. Dr. Manson, Dr. Jensen, all part of our family. So it kind of feels like a little bit of a family reunion tonight. Really cool. I love it, and more. So believe it or not, this weekend, or this one coming up, as we said, July 11th, the Cairo event, a training like no other, one seat left when we started. Go to www.thecairoevent.com. Do your best to try to secure your seat. If you're from New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, we apologize. Hopefully there'll be other chances in the future for you. But right now, that's the only date, July 11th. If you're from the other 47 states, then do your best to try to get it. It'll change your life. Now, here's an interesting thing. Would you believe that there's actually a new name for failed back surgery syndromes? Brand new name being taught in the chiropractic universities. We get that information firsthand. How do we know that? Well, because as we say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Dr. Jason and Stephanie Kaplan, as you know, son and daughter of Dr. Eric Kaplan. My son happens to be in his first semester right now at chiropractic school. Why? Because the future is amazing if you know what you're doing, if you're in the spinal decompression business, if you're in the Centers of America, if you're branded, if you have the tools, if you have the protocols, if you have the systems, if you have the communication, and if you have the opportunity to learn more, which is awesome. So I want to show you guys something really quick. And what I wanted to show you basically was the next phase. So we talked about already, just to recap, we talked about the capture, the marketing. We talked about the conversion. Dr. Kaplan, in his genius, took it back to square one, the M.R.I. There is a formula, and the formula that exists is this. That is, the formula is that the more the doctors order MRIs, the more spinal decompression cases they are closing. I'll repeat that. In other words, the more MRIs the doctors are ordering, the more packages that they are closing. And when we talk about the close, what are we really talking about? We're talking about the financial. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where, in essence, basically, the patient now has the ability to say one of two words, either no or yes. Now, there are basically some secrets to success here. And some of the secrets obviously start with the forms that you use. If we want to talk about pain, obviously that has one road. What's the other road? The other road is function. Dr. K, can you talk a little bit about the vital importance of the ADL form in the Disc Centers of America package?
Well, you know, part of taking the profession to another level is understanding the power of research. And we recommend that you do an ADL pre and post. Why? Because the patients sometimes forget how much better that they are. You know, the Shealy-Bergdorf study shows that. The Ironman study shows that. The Odell study shows that. I mean, these are leading studies done in journals like the American Journal of Pain Management, Practical Pain Management, Anesthesiology News, Journal of Neuroimaging. But you see, to be able to do research, you have to be able to have pre and post, and you have to have support, which is again why we talk about braces. And then I see one of my favorite people, Bridget Rosenberg, who developed a product besides having clinics and dealing with all the problems in California, developed a product called Mineralgia. And she supplies samples to all of our clients. This is a topical analgesic that gives people relief that we associate it with laser. So Bridget, to you and to your husband, the sniper, my love and appreciation for all you are and all you do. I mean, that's what we do. So, when we talk about the forms, and it's like everything is branded. I want you to look in the upper right-hand corner. It's branded. It has to be the brand. And I learned that from Nutrisystem. I learned that at Nutrisystem. So we like doing pre and posts. We like doing ADLs. Matter of fact, anyone out there, my clients that have an active spina, John, I know you have one. I know, Bridget, you have one. You have to even put in their level of pain. If you have two now, good for you. When did you get the second one? God bless you. You can do Morse code. You'll text me later. You know I love you.
I have one in each office.
One in each office. Look at you. See, it's always the quiet, good-looking ones that conquer all. I mean, so here's Bridget in California, did a lot of PI. Now she's moving into the world of decompression because she realizes, right, Bridget, just shake your head yes, because we can't put everybody in audio, but you realize, gee, you know what? I get paid up front. I get paid in cash. I don't have to kiss an attorney's hiney because Sniper would get jealous. You know he would. Come on, listen. Give me a 2 thumbs up if I'm telling the truth. Give me 2 thumbs up, of course. We get the top players. I love you, sweetheart. And I know you've been through a lot. And Perry and I talk about you all the time. And if anyone wants samples of Mineralgia that's on this thing, would you provide them? Of course she will. Why? Because the true lovers are givers. Nobody is more giving than Bridget. I mean, we understand the power of what we do as chiropractors. Listen, there was a time, doctors, let me tell you something. The competition, the Laser Spine Institute is gone. You don't even hear of them. They went bankrupt. Why? Because the complications. What about, remember years ago, they used to talk about in the disc, chemopap pain. They would do chemopap pain. Guess what? You don't hear of it anymore. Yet we have study after study from all these things, the American Journal of Pain Management, which was done by Sheely, that shows. Now, this is another thing, the back index. Listen, we provide reports, free back pain. We put these on the internet. Perry, you throw as many slides as you want. I'll go through them. I mean, whatever you want. I mean, that's what we do. It's about building the brand. Everybody go to wellingtondiscenter.com. See what we do on the website. Watch the infomercial that we've had developed. It took us 8 months to develop that infomercial. If you go to Wellington Disc Center, you can watch it. Watch why our doctors are able to close clinics. See, I talk about it. I start every boot camp up. I don't care what the old PVA. Oh, I see them 30 visits. I see them 40 visits. I see them 50 visits. I don't care how many visits you see them. How much is the value? The new world that Perry and I created is what's the patient value average? What's a shoulder case worth to you? What's a disc case worth to you? What's sciatica worth to you? I want to know what your patient value average is. I don't care how many times they come into your office. Nobody's better at that than you, John Ziliak. You know that. You're the king of the patient value average, for God's sakes. So that's what we do, doctors. We want to know what the patient value average. How many new patients did you have? How many did you close? And what's the patient value average? I don't care how many visits they come to you. I care that you get them better, because nothing refers better than results. Results are the best referral in the world. And you know what, doctors, let's call a spade a spade. We as chiropractors have the ability to touch people and get them well. I mean, if I give you things, I mean, I'll go study after study with you, doctors. Do you know, okay, Tiger Woods, the leading golfer in the world, he had his first back surgery. He had a microdiscectomy in 2014. He had another microdiscectomy in 2015. He had another microdiscectomy in 2015. And I met with this person. Are you kidding me? He's had 4 back surgeries. The #1 golfer has won over 100 events, the greatest golfer in the world. You know what? And one of the things that this person said to me, oh, I wish we would have known about decompression earlier. Well, you know what? I take responsibility for that. You know, that's my job, to educate. I wish he would have known sooner. I wish, you know, I would have gotten to him, you know, and that's why, you know, on the property at Trump, I'm known not as the chiropractor, I'm known as the disc guy. And if you ask my son right now what's the name of his boat, it's the disc guy. I want to be a specialist. Why be a dentist, doctors, when you can be an orthodontist? But you have to believe in what you do. You have to be very well trained at what you do. You have to be very well prepared at what you do, and you have to give it 100%. And that's why when I get guys like John, who's on his second contract, and Roe, that's on his third contract, and I get people out there, you know, I mean, and they come with us and they do better. That's why. Because the other C that we don't talk about today, you know, we'll talk about the conversion, we'll talk about the capture, we'll talk about the close, but there's another C, and that's called the commitment. What's your commitment? What's your commitment? You know, they say that the world is a magnet. It attracts out of you what you see. What are you seeing, doctors? You know, let me tell you something. Opportunities are never lost, doctors. The opportunities you miss, someone else is jumping on. So don't tell me about an opportunity lost. It's one that you didn't accept. And when opportunity knocks, you got to open the door. We have clients that get new patients every week by Facebook. We have clients every week that come through the internet. Perry showed you the forms. This is not an accident. You know, we spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. You know, and let me tell you something. I'm humbled by a guy like Rich Law. Rich Law followed us all over the United States. If Perry and I spoke, all of a sudden you look in the front row, there's Rich taking notes. And he's been to every national certification program we've ever done, and he brings his staff. Now you say, why would a guy with 12 tables still want to learn? Why? Because the road to success is always under construction. Let me tell you the difference between an all-pro and an all-pro. An all-pro is someone that creates new clippings every week. An all-pro is that sits down and reads their clippings. You want to be an all-pro or an all-pro? Listen, you know, Rocky, baby, I still got some juice. I still got some juice. You have juice left, doctors? When you look at a guy like, listen, when he talked about Mark Losagio, when Mark first came to us, and Mark, I says humbly, times were tough. No, they were tough. And here's the guy now.
Yeah, of course.
Now moving it, sold his office, moving into a new building, moving on to his third decompression table, 3 tables, does knees, does everything. Mark, we're so proud of you leading the world in Pennsylvania. And that's what we do. And we're proud of what we do. And we take our doctors from good to great. You want to be average? Listen, doctors, average is the best of the worst of the best. And that's why I won't deal with you if you're average. You want somebody nice, call Perry. Perry's a much nicer guy than I am. You want to grow your practice? Give me a shout, but I'm going to tell you what, you better be good at the basics. That's why I love Bill Belichick. I can name 2 players that played for him. Now I can only name 1. He had Brady and the receiver. I can't even think of his name right now. He had 2 players, Edelman. Now he has 1. And I'm going to tell you what, I'll make a prediction. The New England Patriots will still be a good team because the system works. And let me tell you something, and that's what Perry and I know. Our system works. How do I know? Because we have hundreds of clinics succeeding. Matter of fact, as I said earlier, we're the only ones that put in our contract that you'll get your money back. Not one person has ever had to implement that. When I get someone, Jennifer, I love you, you know that. When I get someone like Jennifer Delgado, PP, perfect person. When I get someone like Jennifer Delgado, and she closed the case as soon as right after the boot camp for $6,000, and she's a teacher helping her dad out. That's what tells me the system works. It works. So you're either integrated or you're isolated. You integrate with us, be part of the brand, or stay on your own and be a little mom and pop store. And I wish you luck. But let me tell you what the 8 ball says. The 8 ball never lies. What's the future of this says America? Big. It says big. The 8 ball never lies. PB.
All right. So I want you guys to take your pen out. Take your pen out. Take a piece of paper out. And I'm going to show you something here. As I mentioned in the beginning when we first started, a lot of you came here tonight because you knew we were going to make a very, very groundbreaking big announcement. And I promise you, we will. But before we do that, we actually have something special for you guys that that we really revere. And when I say revere, reverence is actually the highest level of respect. Yes, we respect all of our family of doctors, but we really revere them. And reverence, as I mentioned, is actually a higher call to action and more. So what I want to do is I want to show you something. Take out a pen, and I want to show you something here, and hopefully this will pop up. And there it is. All right, beautiful. Can you see that? All right, very cool. All right, so we spoke tonight about the 3 C's of spinal decompression. Let's cliff note this for you guys with respect to number 1, the capture. In other words, what type of net are you throwing? How good is your net? And oh, by the way, welcome to the party, Dr. Rowe. So glad that you joined us from out of Texas. You're with us now. I showed a cool picture of you before. So handsome. And welcome back again. We don't use that word lightly. When we say our family, that's not some, forgive the term, hey, it's not some BS cliche. It's real. And when I say it's real, what I mean is you put all these doctors together in a room and it is like a show. It is like the most abundant family reunion, because the amazing thing is they all share in common one thing. They're all amazingly entrepreneurial. They are amazing doctors. They have an amazing intent to serve. They love chiropractic. And guess what? They love closing packages in the spinal decompression, neuropathy, and joint world. When I say joint world, I mean knees, shoulders, and more. You want to talk about how to close a knee package? You want to meet Dr. Mark Lisagio, who we showed his picture before. Thanks for hanging out with us, Dr. Lisagio. There's actually something known as the 3 C's of spinal decompression. It's a video lesson, basically 1 through 4. And for all of our doctors that are Disc Centers of America doctors, this will be in your inbox tomorrow. You will have all 4 videos sitting in your inbox tomorrow. You don't need to do anything. However, if you're not part of the family and you say, you know what, how can I get my hands on this stuff anyway? Then we have gifts for you. And the gift starts with, as you remember, write this website down, www.thechiroevent.com. And if you grab a seat, you'll have access to the videos, but you'll also have access to something really cool. And what we did was we basically took the note package for the 3 videos. In other words, we had everything transcribed into a packet of information. Well, guess what? All of our doctors will have that in their inbox tomorrow as well. And it is really our free gift. And that's one of the cool things, because remember, in life, in business, in practice, if you underpromise and you overdeliver, trust me, it is a beautiful dynamic, a beautiful dynamic. And if you're curious what it looks like, this is what it looks like. It's awesome. We had everything transcribed. This will be sent to you. It's about 21 or 22 pages long, and it's got everything. So I actually went through it, and I had my highlighter out on this thing, and I was like highlighting, yes, golden nugget. Wow. Golden nugget. Wow. Golden nugget. Wow. And you know what I love about it? It's not like 300 pages. It's like 20 pages. So use the tools in this packet. If you're able to grab a seat at www.thechiroevent, you will have access to this and more. So as we mentioned here, and I'm glad we have more people on now than when we started, which is pretty awesome here. And we promised you guys, as we mentioned, that there would be a very special announcement here today. This is the first time this has ever been made in our profession. So you doctors are here at the right time, at the right place. Hopefully you have the right intent and you have the right mission. The right mission is to save the world, as our Disc Centers of America doctors do, from opioids, from risky injections, and often unnecessary surgeries. Drum roll, please. Do you know how hard it was to get that cat to play the drums? Do you know how hard that was? Well, guess what? If it came easy, everybody would do it, right? So it's not easy. But guess what? If you got the fast track to success, here are the tools. It's all about the right tools. It's all about the right training. Drum roll, please. And we're so happy, so pumped, so excited, so juiced, so motivated, and really so wowed by the ability to share this information, which is groundbreaking in our profession. You guys get first access for being here. The 2020 National Spinal Decompression Certification Program is coming to, drum roll please. Yes, the rumors were true. The deal has been closed. This took months to put together. And it would have never been done, obviously, without really the fortitude and really without the love for our profession with respect to what Dr. Kaplan has done. It is coming to Life University. The date, write it down now. November 21st and November 22nd is the magic dates. And if you wanted to learn everything and anything you can about the science, the clinical data, the research, and yes, the patient protocols here, especially with regards to your table, I'll guarantee that the majority of the doctors here on this Thursday Night Live have different tables. Now, obviously, in life, there's always what we call good, then there's better, and then there is the best. And when we talk about the best, you'll learn that in an informed decision as a consumer. What is the difference between an AccuSpine and a DRX? What's the difference between a DRX and a VaxD? What's the difference between a VaxD and a Triton, a Hill, a Spine Med, and more? And what's the difference between traction? And what's the difference between inversion? Well, if you want to learn that, write that down. And more importantly, if you want to learn the business, and this is what makes my heart beat a little bit faster, because all of this information is amazing, but if you don't know how to run the most incredible business, well, how do you learn that? Well, you learn that at a place called the Chiro Event. Yes, this is about credibility. Yes, this is about respect. Yes, this is about notoriety. Yes, this is about your status as a National Spinal Decompression Certified Doctor. This program, in its short years on this earth, was initiated back in 2012 by Dr. Kaplan, who wrote the entire curriculum for this program. It became the #1 most attended CEU weekend program at Parker University. Every class that was ever given actually outdid the previous class in terms of attendance. And we expect nothing short of that. This will be, we have so much brand new information for this. It is so incredible. But again, where does it all start? It starts with the business. July 11th, write it down, www.thechiroevent.com. One seat left. As we speak here, we teach you how to position yourself, how to brand yourself, how to market yourself, because remember, where does it all start? It starts with the capture. If you have a never-ending flow of new patients, trust me, you will always be in a position of leverage and control. And then if you know how to over-deliver, holy cow. Saturday, July 11th, www.thechiroevent.com. This is only applicable to doctors in the 47 states. Not New York, not New Jersey, not Connecticut. We're sorry for that. But the reality is, for the doctors in the other 47 states, you do have the ability. One seat left. Holy cow. If it's still there, I have no idea. Our team handles that, as you know, and more. Saturday, July 11th. And what I would love to do, actually, in closing, Dr. K, is I would love for you to be able to talk a little bit about, as I mentioned, really how to fast track everything. In other words, what I would love for you to do here tonight is actually to be able, if you're sitting on the other end of Thursday Night Live, and obviously you have questions, I know the first question I would have would be simple. The first question that I would have is there a seat left? In other words, can I grab that seat? I kind of have a feeling somebody already did it. That's what they did last time. But what I would do is, if I'm there, my question to you, Dr. K, would be this. Regardless of what level of practice that you are at, how can I get from A to Z in terms of taking my average patient value, obviously in the chiropractic world, from approximately 1,200, 1,500, because let's be frank, that's a chiropractic case. If you close a chiropractic case, you're going to be in the ballpark of $1,200 to $1,500. Maybe you'll get a prepay. Maybe it'll be a cash-driven program. Maybe, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But if you're in the non-surgical spinal decompression world, and you're talking about doctors that are every single day closing cash-based packages for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 and more, and you want to be able to hitch your ride to the fastest rocket ship in the history of this profession with regards to the education of the cash-based model based upon medical technology known as non-surgical spinal decompression. Dr. K, can you speak a little bit on that? We have a little bit of time left tonight. Can you just share what you would do if you were them?
Well, you know, you set me up on that one. I feel like the lob came up, but let me say this to the doctors out there. I mean, you know, Perry, you asked me to read the Moby Dick. Let me tell you about Moby Dick. The whale wins. The whale wins in Moby Dick. So here's what I'm saying to you, doctors. Are you a chiropractor on a boat, or are you a whale? The whales are winning. We have doctors that are winning. Let me explain some very simple business we're in. Very simple. Get new patients in the door, get them to follow your program, and get them to pay. That's how simple it is. Why do we have so much trouble mastering these things? Moby Dick. Are you with a spear and you're like throwing it into the water, or are you Moby Dick? Our doctors, because they understand the power of the brand, they understand that we are the whales of this profession. That's why this says America needs to grow. So what do, Perry? Listen, if you're a client, you go through the basics. They've been through boot camp. They understand the power of the M.R.I. They understand what they need to do. They'll be at the National Certification Program, or we'll yell at them. If you're not a client, you need to be at the event. What does it cost you? Next to nothing. And you know what? Here's what I'm telling you. If you won't invest in me, I won't invest in you. If I'm not worth your time, then you're not worth my time. Because that's what it comes down to. You know, so what I'm saying is we have one in July. We're going to do in a master class, which is also going to be, you know, letters going out, you know, to all of our clients and at Dr. Law's office. I mean, we learn from the best. We do the best. There'll be another one in September. Listen, let me tell you the facts of life, doctors. The pandemic will go away. It will. Whether it be now, whether it be 6 months from now, let me tell you, the world has changed as we've never seen it. But let me tell you what hasn't changed. These problems haven't changed. Failed back surgery hasn't changed. People are out there doing more work. They're doing stuff around the house they've never done before. The injuries are mounting up. Marco Saggio is closing cases. John Ziliak just sent me a thing. He's closing cases. Cameron Rowe is closing cases. What I'm telling you, doctors, is In every failure comes an opportunity. Thomas said, they once went to Thomas Edison, they said, what does it feel like to have failed 1,000 times in creating the light bulb? He said, no, I found out 999 times that wouldn't work. Doctors, you sat through this tonight. Is it working or is it not working? If you want to learn the capture, if you want to learn the conversion, if you want to learn the close, if you want to be committed to being the best doctor you can be, come to the event. If you're a doctor, I expect to see you with the national certification. I mean, I take someone like Brigitte, who's already been, see Brigitte, I know how to say it right, but I don't like to. If I take someone like Brigitte, okay, who's been to multiple boot camps. I mean, Rich Lohr, been to multiple boot camps. And I want to thank all my doctors for the 1-minute motivator. That, listen, this is my 4th #1 best-selling book. I challenge any other chiropractor in the country to show me that they've written 4 #1 bestsellers. So I'm going to open up one page. Watch this. And what does it say? Be careful of the words you say. Keep them soft and sweet. You never know from day to day which ones you'll have to eat. Don't worry if you were a kleptomaniac. You can always take something for it. I mean, that's the world we live in. So I have 100 motivators in the book. And at #1, anyone that comes to the event, we're going to give you the book. So if you come to the event, we'll give you the book. Perry wrote a book, you know, it's the Secrets of Success. You're going to get a lot of #1 bestsellers. Why? We call it the Success Collection. Our clients are going to get the 3 C's of conversion. You're going to get the Library of Success. Only good things for our doctors and only good things for the future doctors. So I'm saying to you, doctors, if you're out there, ask yourself this question. One question. What is one new patient worth to me? What's one new patient worth? What if I can show you, if you become a client of ours, I can give you a 3-to-1 return. If you can show me somebody that can give me a 3-to-1 return, if you show me somebody that can do that, I'm going to tell you that's where I'll invest my money. And that's why, you know what? All the old consultants have gone away. Why are Dr. Barr and I #1? #1 reason? We care. Ask any of our doctors. Call them up. Many of you people have. We care. We care. Brigitte, give me 2 thumbs up. There you go. We care. So doctors, I'm telling you, the conversion, the capture, the conversion, the close, great stuff. If you're not a client, come to the event. And you know what? If you're not willing to make the commitment, then you know what? You're not committed to the profession. Because our doctors are the best doctors. Our doctors are the most committed doctors. Our doctors give the extra. You know, Perry talked about the extra. Harvey McKay, who wrote the book, How to Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Alive, says, give the clients what they expect and a little bit more. I want you to give more. That's why we're working on a new belt we have laying out. We're talking about the master classes coming up. We're talking about the national certification at Life University. There's so many things that we're doing to advance the profession, and there's more secrets on the horizon. I can't even tell you some of the calls that Perry and I had today that could actually change the face of this profession, because there are other people out there. There are other people out there. These future Hall of Famers is the only secret that I'm going to give you. These future Hall of Famers that are saying, how do I make a difference in the profession? What's my legacy? See, let me tell you something. Am I selling something? You bet. I don't mind selling myself. But if I can't close you, how can you close a patient? And let me tell you something. I'll look you in the eyes and say, you should become a client. If you're not a client, become a client. If you're not a client, come to the event. I don't have a problem saying that. But no different, if a person has this problem, I'm going to tell them they have 2 choices. You can either start decompression today, or you're going to need surgery later. And how do I say that? Anyone who wants a copy of my M.R.I, I'll send it to you. Thanks to my son and my daughter, okay, I'm here playing, I'll be playing golf tomorrow. So you know what? We make a difference. We're the answer to failed back surgery, okay? But you know what? What's failed chiropractic syndrome? The failure to educate the population. So you know what? If you want to talk about the subluxation, that's good. But you know what? A subluxation becomes a bulge, and a bulge becomes a herniation, and that's why we do this. So thank you, and God bless each and every one of you for being here tonight. And I hope that you took one thing, because it's the little things in life that make a big difference. Thanks, Dr. Barr.
So if you remember when we started tonight, we told you to write down this email address. Now, the reason that this email is vital, crucial, and important to your success is because we will, for the doctors here in attendance here tonight, who ask for it. We're not going to send this out unless you ask for it. We're going to send you the early sign-up link for the National Spinal Decompression Certification Program. In other words, you will pay the least amount than any doctor that sits in that groundbreaking historic room on November 21st and 22nd. If you want to be put on the list, send us an email, and the link to sign up for the National Spinal Decompression Certification Program being held in 2020 at the largest chiropractic university, the largest one, my alma mater. Dr. Lesagio, brother, we're going home, my man. We're going home. And if you want to be on that list, you will pay the least amount if you have the early sign-up link. So what we're going to do is we're going to send you the early sign-up link for that as soon as we get it. So you will have direct first access to it. Mark it down. But guess what? If it's me and I'm watching this and I'm saying, holy cow, I am jonesing. I got hair standing up on my arms, standing up on my legs, counting down the days to November 21st and 22nd. But what the heck? What do I do before then to get my party started? How do I become the go-to disc doctor, the go-to nerve doctor, the go-to joint doctor in my relative demographic? Well, that's what www.thechiroevent.com is all about. And I mean, listen, at the end of the day, who's having more fun than us? I mean, come on. Who is that? I want to meet the doctors that are having more fun than Dr. Kaplan, myself, and our amazing family of Dissenters of America doctors that wear the brand in their heart, in their soul, in their cells. They live for it because it brought them to the promised land. And guess what? We're just getting started. Dr. Kaplan and myself have a recurring conversation. And the recurring conversation we have usually starts and ends with this statement. What we say is, we're the lucky ones. And if you don't know what that means, I'll tell you what it means right now. It means that we attracted the doctors that were, as we say in chiropractic, naturally right, if you know what I mean. We attract the doctors that have the big idea, if you know what I mean. We attract the doctors that understand that it's a business and it's a service. Your service hand is your giving hand, your sharing hand, your loving hand. Your business hand, well, guess what? That's the turbo engine that drives the machine. And that is the foundational component to all of our teachings. Next Friday, boot camp for our Dissenters of America doctors that have reserved seats. Boy, do we got stuff to show you that's never been seen before. The day later, July 11th, the Chiro event at a 5-star club. It is a club unlike no other. And in closing, Dr. K, would you be so kind as just to share one last thing with our family of doctors and obviously the other doctors who are not part of our family yet, but if they meet the criteria in the future, maybe that'll happen.
Well, you know, I'll do that only because I'm getting hungry. But the point that I'm going to say is, while you were talking, Perry, I got this wonderful text. And the text came from no one else than Cameron Rowe. Now, if the people that came on late, Cameron was in a town with one traffic light, he had one decompression table. He got a second decompression table, there's 2 traffic lights. So I don't want to hear people tell me about small town, little thing. And we actually call him Superman. And, you know, here's this gentleman who looks really like Clark Kent, you know, until he opens up his shirt. And he implemented the program. So here's what he told me, Perry. why, you were like beautifully educating the people. He says, Dr. Kaplan, closed 12 last month, highest ever. So doctors, here's a guy in a small town in Texas, closed 12 cases at an average, let's say, anywhere from 3,600 to 4,000. That's $48,000 cash money, besides everything else he did in a small town in Texas. So don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you're willing to do. Tell me how committed you are. There's the capture, there's the conversion, there's the close, but there's also the commitment. I will tell this, I'll look any client in the eye and say, nobody is more committed to you than Perry and I. But the question I'm going to ask you is, how committed are you to your patients? How committed are you to chiropractic? How committed are you to making a change in the universe? How committed are you, okay, so that you don't have to just do personal injury because they're the only one that's paying you anymore? How committed are you to changing failed back surgery syndrome? If you're committed to me, to Perry, we're committed to you, and we're committed to chiropractic. So have a great night. God bless. So I ask yourself, when you go to bed tonight, look in the mirror and ask yourself, mirror, mirror on the wall, am I doing the best job that I can? The mirror is going to give you an answer. And if you can do better, be better. Look forward to seeing you on July 11th or at the master class or something after that, because we're changing the world one patient, one disc at a time. I look forward to meeting you, my clients. I look forward to seeing you. Great stuff you're going to get in the mail. Dr. Bard, we call him Santa Claus, always giving. Have a great night.